Coming up, this year's local elections have major implications for Long Island.
And with only 3 days before the deadline, learn how to register to vote and make your voice heard. The FTC Soundcheck starts now. Hello and welcome to a special Promote the Vote edition of the FTC Soundcheck. I'm Daniel Garcia.
And I'm Jace DeMarco. November 4th is Election Day, a very important day for our country. And this year, local positions are open that affect our day-to-day lives. Before we vote, it's crucial to know which candidates align with our personal values. This Promote the Vote special is here to give you information about the people running for office, their policies, and how you can make a difference at the polls.
The New York City mayoral race is one of the biggest races in our area this year. After incumbent Eric Adams withdrew from the race, the field is down to 3 candidates. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo lost a Democratic primary but remains in the race as an independent. He resigned as governor in 2021 after being accused of sexual harassment. Republican Curtis Sliwa is a talk show host who founded the nonprofit Guardian Angels. The group works to prevent crime in nonviolent ways and create compassion and safety within NYC communities. Zoran Mondami is running as a Democrat. He was born in Uganda and became a U.S. citizen in 2018. A member of the Democratic Socialists of America, he has served on the New York State Assembly since 2021. Last Thursday, the candidates had their first debate. A key talking point was tackling crime, and all 3 have different plans.
The NYPD is now down at one of the lowest levels in modern political history. I would add 5,000 police, put 1,500 in the subways, raise the starting salary.
We need 7,000 police. We only have 32,500. The problem in recruiting police, which neither of you are addressing, is that their insurance was stripped from them.
If you want an actual approach to lower crime, look at our Department of Community Safety. That is something that has been hailed by experts as addressing so many of the pieces of why New Yorkers are not feeling safe today.
Mondami is the current leader in the polls.
The race for Nassau County Executive has entered a high-stakes phase. Republican Bruce Blakeman is seeking a second term against Democratic challenger Sepp Kozlow, a county legislator and attorney. Blakeman is promoting his law and order record, while Kozlow is campaigning on change, promising audits, greater transparency, and taxpayer relief. 5-town students who live in Nassau want a county executive who understands the issues that matter to them.
I want to make sure the taxes are going to public funds that are going to help the entire state and the entire, well, not the entire state, but the entire county and the township itself. And it's going back into the school systems, and it's going back into like social programs, etc.
Education's a big one because I feel like where I came from, I went to Levittown Public Schools, which was really nice. I feel like everyone should have the amenities that I had, and just like local businesses, like small businesses, all the local stuff near me is really nice, and it's just really nice seeing new stuff open.
The candidates will square off tonight at 8 p.m. in a debate hosted by News 12, Long Island.
All 19 seats in the Nassau legislature are also up for a vote this year. Currently, 12 members are Republicans and 7 are Democrats. Legislators draft and accept local laws that affect residents of Nassau.
A unique situation has developed in the 4th District, where a Democratic legislative candidate is still on the ballot, even though he's been missing and presumed dead. Petros Kromidas vanished while swimming this spring. His body has not been found. Democrats tried to get another candidate on the ballot, but a judge ruled against them because Kromidas hasn't been declared legally dead. Kromidas' family has now endorsed his campaign, urging others to vote for him. His sister wrote, quote, "His heart would have brought positive light and change to this community. If he's elected, there will be a special election later on."
In Suffolk County, all 18 seats in the county legislature are up for grabs this year. Currently, Republicans hold the majority. Key issues include property taxes, county budgets, and environmental concerns such as water quality, sewers, and coastal resilience.
District 13, which covers the towns of Smithtown and parts of Huntington, will soon have a new legislator to replace the current one, who is term limited. I had a chance to talk with two candidates who are hoping to take his place. Republican Salvatore Formica, a former police officer from Comac, and Democrat Shala Piscucci, a school board trustee from Kings Park, are vying for a 2-year term in the Suffolk legislature. Their opinions clash on such key issues as police support.
I've received a full endorsement from all of law enforcement, and the reason that they endorse me is because we have the same beliefs.
We support the police with resources, of course, but I also think that the police need other support, like mental health support and things of that nature.
The rising cost of living is also a major issue in their district and across Long Island. The candidates have different ideas on how to make life more affordable.
You're going to see infrastructure built near train stations. And when you do that, you increase the Main Street traffic.
Build on already abandoned storefronts, things that are already dilapidated, and create houses. And you fund it with resources that we already have in the county.
But if there's one thing Formica and Pascucci can agree on, it's the importance of coming out to vote.
A lot of people don't come out. It's something that's become a very big problem. People think that local elections don't matter, and I think that they matter more than the grand stage.
Everything that you do on a daily basis is local government. So who's in office is really, really important.
Formica and Pascucci also say they are running to bridge the political divide between their parties. Danny?
Town supervisors and town board members are also up for election this year in Nassau and Suffolk counties. Suffolk is divided into 10 towns. Dix Hills, where Five Towns College is located, is part of the town of Huntington. Republican Edmund J. Smith is running for re-election against Democrat Cooper Macco. Smith's platform is to stop overdevelopment, preserve open space, and improve the quality of life. Macco says he wants to fix overdevelopment, keep communities clean and safe, and make Huntington more affordable for residents. For more information about each candidate, go to huntingtondems.com for Macco and huntingtongop.org for Smith.
There's a lot going on even in a local election year like this. So, we thought we'd get some insight from someone who has spent years covering politics here on Long Island. FGC anchor Grace Bonamico joins us now with an inside look at some of the key races and issues.
Thank you. Rich Barabi is a longtime News 12 Long Island anchor, host of Power and Politics, and adjunct professor here at Five Towns College. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing great, Grace. Thanks for having me.
So what are some of the key races happening on Long Island this election day, and what makes them especially interesting or competitive this year?
Well, it's a great question, Grace, and it comes down to local. These are the issues that will have the largest impact on your day-to-day life, and the races that will do that as well. This is everything from taxes to trash pickup. They don't necessarily grab the most headlines, but they really make a difference in your life. And we're talking about in Nassau County, a county executives race that's getting some attention now between the Republican incumbent Bruce Lakeman and the Democrat Seth Kozlow. But there are several other races as well that, again, really will impact your day-to-day.
Now, like you said, it's a very local year and it's not a presidential election year. What are some of those issues or offices on the ballot that will have a big impact on local Long Island residents?
Well, we mentioned that Nassau County executive race, Grace, that's getting the most attention, but you can go right on down the line in Nassau County. There are several key races. The district attorney, the Republican incumbent Ann Donnelly, is facing a spirited challenge from a newcomer to the political scene, Democrat Nicole Alois. All town supervisor races, the 3 town supervisors in Nassau County, they are also up for grabs once again. And in Suffolk County, it's interesting, Grace, in that the 2 highest ranked races, so to speak, on your ballot are unopposed. The Republican district attorney, Ray Tierney, is not facing a challenger from the Democratic side, and the Democratic county sheriff, Errol Toulon, has no Republican challenger. So on the one hand, you can look at that and say, well, they must be doing something right if the other party doesn't even want to put up a candidate to face them. But on the other hand, it takes away choices and options for the voters. That's something to consider as well.
Now, what would you say to younger voters, especially college students, who might not feel their vote matters as much in a non-presidential election year?
Right, and we hear that a lot, and we see in these year elections that turnout is typically low, whether it's because people have political fatigue after everything they're watching in Washington, or the fact that they're just not caught up on those local issues and the local candidates. People have busy lives, and we all understand that. But again, you are doing yourself a disservice if you're not reading up on these local races, on these local candidates, because grassroots is where it begins, and it's up to you to determine whether or not you like the way your town, your village, your county is operating right now, what it means for your life. So again, you can have a big impact in an off-election year, and whether you vote or not, these races will have a big impact on your life, at least for the next year or two.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. It should be a very interesting election year. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Grace. Still to come, we'll tell you how to register to vote this election day. Time is running out. We'll be right back after a few thoughts from FTC students.
I do plan on voting this upcoming election, yes.
Why?
I think it's really important to vote and to have your say in your community.
Nope.
Why?
None of these elections mean anything to me. It's not a presidential election.
Yes.
If so, why?
Well, I feel like local elections are kind of the most important in a way, because what you can control at home, the policies you can control to come into place, that's what affects people at large a lot of the times, because, you know, of course we have the president and his policies, but it varies by state what the local policies are, so I think that's very important.
I don't know, man. If they can't, if no one can be good to each other, then it's not even worth it, man. Yeah.
I want to vote for like mental health rights. I feel like that's a big one, especially right now with all the things coming about autism. I'm on the spectrum. And I also feel like a big one is like mental health, obviously, and then like rights for people who might be on disability and stuff.
I'd want to see specific change in like, it's probably city politics, mayoral to mayoral. I can't really vote in New York City, but I would really like to see Zohran Mamdani win. I think that would be a very interesting change for New York City in general, and I think a lot of the ideas and stuff that he has are pretty good for the city.
I think that there's a lot of rhetoric and ideologies on Long Island specifically that I don't really agree with. And I think electing leaders that can help change that would do a lot for just the people on the island.
Welcome back to our 5 Towns College Promote the Vote special. Local elections are all about local issues, and for college students, those issues can hit especially close to home. I'm here with 3 MassComm students, Tyler McCready, Will Schneider, and Jordani Chacon, to find out what's important to them. Thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Glad to be here.
So let's start off with this. When you think about your town, what local issues stand out most to you?
For Selden, I think it's just giving people the proper accommodations they need. I'm autistic, so I very much care about autistic people getting accommodated, but also if you have other like mental health disabilities like depression, ADHD, bipolar, or maybe you're physically disabled, like you're in a wheelchair or you're like missing an arm or something, I want to make sure that Selden is as accessible as possible to the most amount of people.
I say maybe perhaps a crackdown on crime, especially around me, because I live in I live right next to a train station where there's a car show that a lot of people go like blindingly fast, and you know there should be somewhat to crack down on that. You know,
I think local development is very important to me because it creates other issues such as like the housing crisis and just ongoing traffic, which causes more accidents. I think we should really prioritize on that, because rather than focusing on like city people or seasonal people that come in the summer, we should focus more on the locals. Yeah.
Now, switching over to the county level of things, are there any issues or concerns you think deserve more attention?
For me in Suffolk, it's easily housing. Like, I love my parents so much, and they're very nice to me to let me live with them, but I don't know live with them until I'm 30. I'd like to be able to afford my own house, and I don't want to have to be a millionaire just to be able to just afford a house, even semi-comfortably on Long Island. So I hope that whoever's voted into office can make it easier for us in like college, when we go out to be able to get jobs, to be able to afford houses, so we can stay on Long Island and don't have to move off.
Yeah, I agree with Tyler. You know, in Nassau, it's also prices are insane. You know, like and unreasonably so, because if you look at Zillow, you know, like you could find like a modest house on there, and it would be like $16 million, you know, and then like you look at somewhere and something like, oh, like Pennsylvania, so, and it would be like $300,000. That something that looks almost exactly the same. So yeah, that's an issue.
I think an important one is for all around, since I'm from Southold, I have to drive a long way, is focusing on the roads mainly, because I don't like waking up first thing in the morning and while I'm going to class, I just happen to go over a pothole, and it creates more problems for me personally. But overall, just have better ways to have functioning roads without having like car accidents happening like every day. I think that's very important to me.
Now, have you guys voted before? Yes. So why do you think it's important for young people, especially college students, to get involved and make their voices heard?
Because elections are very much a big part where we decide who's in charge and who has power to like do the changes that we want to see. And I feel like people don't give enough credit to local elections, because while the president is the one that's making the stuff that affects the nation, the local ones, who's in charge of your county, who's in charge of your town, decide what goes wrong there. And like I said, if I want to see housing changes in Suffolk or like accommodations put in Selden, I need to find the representatives that promise to do that and vote them into office so that they have the power to do that.
Yeah, you know, they say, you know, your voice matters, and it does, because, you know, everyone has like their own issue, and then there's like a candidate that comes around that wants to fight on these issues, and if you vote, you have a better chance of that candidate, you know, like getting into office, and those issues you want taken care of are taken care of, you know.
My first election, all I saw was mainly older people, so I think we are their future, so we should also take our future into our own hands and actually committing to going to our wherever we have to go to vote, because I remember I was dorming from 5 towns and I had to drive all the way back because I still thought that even if I had a singular vote, it's still something that matters to me and it should be effective, especially for our county and for my town.
Well, Tyler, Will, Jordani, thank you guys so much for joining me today and sharing issues that are important to you.
Thank you for having us. If you want to vote but haven't registered yet, you need to hurry. The deadline is Friday. It's easy to do. There are a few sites you can use. On vote.gov, click the Select Your State button and type in your state in the search bar to your right. From there, you can follow the links to register or update your registration online, by mail, or in person. Another option is vote411.org, which is run by the League of Women Voters and works in a similar manner. It also includes information about candidates.
If you're ready to vote and don't want to wait until November 4th, or you're busy on Election Day, you can vote early. Early voting starts this Saturday, October 25th, and ends on Sunday, November 2nd. Polling locations will be open all over Suffolk County, but be aware, they're often not the same places you would go to vote on Election Day. You can go to the League of Women Voters or Nassau or Suffolk Board of Elections to find the information on where to vote.
Now, let's take a look at what a ballot looks like if you're voting in the 5 towns area. The columns list the candidates up for election, while the rows represent their political party. You fill in the bubbles like you're taking a test, one for categories such as county legislator and town supervisor. But for Supreme Court justice, you can pick up to 8. There's also space to write in a candidate.
When you finish the front, make sure to flip to the back to vote on any proposals. Suffolk County residents have one that would change election laws, including extending the term of county legislators to 4 years. There's also a statewide proposal. It asks for people to allow an Olympic sports complex in Essex County upstate to expand. It would also require New York State to add 2,500 acres of protected forest to Adirondack Park.
That's all for this special Promote the Vote edition of the FTC Soundcheck. Go to the record online for the websites we mentioned and other important resources. I'm Jace DeMarco.
And I'm Daniel Garcia. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to vote.